Despite appearances, this is not a device from a cyberpunk fever dream. This is the X4. It is a stepless 1500 lumen flashlight with both spot and flood emitters, and runs on a user-replaceable 18650 battery. And it's made by Wuben, and I am Moondog, an average EDC user with an above-average interest in making videos. And if you'd like to see me test the Wuben X4, well, do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button right now, and we'll get started. Let me start with a quick unboxing, and then let's just see the contents of the box. This is the Wuben X4, and it is a very unusual and futuristic EDC light that's only about 4 inches long, about 1.5 inches tall, and a little under 1 inch thick, not including the metal belt clip. And it is very blocky, yet futuristic looking. And the reason why it's not as flat as your arc velds and your night quartz is because it uses a traditional battery. Now it has a locking switch there, unlock that, and boom, there you go. You got your traditional 18650 battery. So this is great because this kind of bridges the gap between your flatter and modern EDC lights and being able to use an off-the-shelf battery that you can recharge or hot swap, and you can charge it inside of the unit as well. The tail is flat, magnetic, and it has a tail switch. Now, here's the other great features, a lot of analog controls. This is your mode switch, and it has a lockout mode. In that mode, none of the buttons work. But if as soon as you switch it to any of the other modes, you got your side light, your main light, and your moonlight mode. As soon as you hit that, you can momentary turbo mode and strobe by double tapping that. In the side light mode, if you use your main button on the side there, you can turn it on, and it is controlled by a dial, and it'll blink when it reaches the top or bottom in terms of its intensity. And if you double tap on it, it'll turn on your signal, emergency signal mode. You put it onto your main light mode. When you press your main button, again, it'll turn it on, and you use the dial to change your intensity. And in moonlight mode, it stays at its lowest output for the longest runtime. And you can use the tail, click to activate it also in moonlight mode. And moonlight mode also exposes your USB-C charging port. Again, as I mentioned, you can charge that battery using that port. Turns red when it's charging, turns blue when it's fully charged. So yeah, let's do that. Let's fully charge this thing and then get started testing. I fully recharged the battery before starting the test and let the unit run for about 10 seconds to warm up the battery chemistry. As you can see, my testing rig is not a NASA-designed scientific instrument, but I have calibrated it to a reliable 100 lumen light source. My reading started at 486 and dropped rapidly, but for argument's sake and to give Wuben the benefit of the doubt, let's just call it 480. And based on my calculations, I was reading about 1200 lumens, which is not far from the 1500 lumens that Wuben claims. This is the X4 in its side light mode. And when we bring up the brightness to its maximum, it's pretty bright, pretty floody. Now let's switch this over to its main beam mode. And that is also at its lowest brightness. You can see that there is a hot spot. And it's about, let's say about a foot and a half. And it goes somewhat gradually into the spill. Now let's bring up the brightness on this analog dial, about halfway there. You can see the hot spot a little more clearly now, and you can see that the spill is pretty wide, pretty floody. Now let's bring this all the way up to its maximum brightness. You saw that little blink there. That tells you, that's your indicator that you've reached the end, either the highest or the lowest power setting. Here we have the X4 at its brightest intensity, and this can easily reach out to that telephone pole 120 feet away. Industry standard drop tests are from 1 meter or 3 feet. I'm going to drop it from 6 feet twice onto rocks and dirt, so we'll see if it still works. The X4's specs state that it is IPX6 rated, which means it can survive high-pressure water jets, but not full water submersion. So here is a high-pressure water jet, and we're going to see if it survives this test. Well, the side light works, and let's see if the main spotlight works. Indeed it does. The X4 claims to have a maximum runtime of 720 hours in moonlight mode. Well, I don't have that kind of time, so let's put it on high mode and see how long it can run. But don't worry, it won't be here for hours or even minutes. I've set the camera on time lapse. Well, there's an hour right there, and now 100 minutes. Take your best guess on how long this thing will run and post it in the comments. So there we go, 196 minutes. That's almost 3.5 hours. And while it may not have been 1500 lumens, it did appear to be consistently bright the entire time. Before we start talking about the X4, I'd just like to remind you to hit the like button right now before this video ends. And if you're not already a subscriber to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell buttons, which are free. And as an extra incentive, every month I hold a contest on my website where I give away samples of the products that I review. So if you're a subscriber, you'll be among the first to be notified when I post up details of the newest contest. Hey, you can't win unless you enter. And I'd like to thank Wuben for sending out the X4 for me to test. I really like this cool flashlight, and it is probably the most futuristic, the most cyberpunk looking flashlight that I've reviewed. Now, I don't like it just because it looks cool, but I like it because I love the controls. They're analog. It's so easy to switch between the modes just by flipping, turning the switch, and it's so easy to change the brightness just by turning the dial. It's so intuitive, so efficient. Yeah, I kind of wish more flashlights had analog controls, to be quite honest. Now, understandably, the aesthetics, the design of it may not necessarily be your cup of tea. I know it's a bit polarizing, and it is a bit bulky for a flat EDC, and that's because it has to accommodate the cylinder, which is the 18650 battery. But the upside to that is that it's a replaceable battery, and it's easy enough to find an 18650 just about anywhere in any Wally world. So yeah, it has pluses, and certainly it is a conversation starter. If you pull one of these out, I'm sure any gearhead out there will definitely go, hey, that's pretty interesting. Can I check it out? Now, that said, I really like the X4, but I can't wholeheartedly endorse it only because, well, I've had problems with Wuben's customer service. I don't know. It has nothing to do with this particular flashlight, by the way. It has to do with another flashlight that I tested. And yeah, it's been 2 weeks and they still haven't contacted me. I don't know if you've had similar experiences with their customer service, or maybe not. Maybe your products are perfectly fine. Let me know in the comments what you've heard about Wuben. But I really do like the X4 in terms of its design. I've had no problems with it. So if you're interested in it, you can find more information as well as details in my full written review at moondogindustries.com, and you'll find a link to that article in the video description. So thanks for taking a moment to check out those links, and thanks for taking the time to watch this video. God bless. Moondog out. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.